Without pain, there would be no suffering. Without suffering, we would never learn from our mistakes. To make it right, pain and suffering is the key to all windows. Without it, there is no way of life.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I have been gone for about 2 months, but I am back and I am doing a series of videos. So this series is called Self-Healing, and I'm going to be bringing on some beautiful young ladies. We're going to talk about all things of life and the different adversities that they may have faced and just how they have gotten closer to God and how they have healed themselves during their journey. So today I have a special guest with me. I have Lee Mason.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for coming. Lee is a rapper. Do you go by anything else besides a artist, or you just
Artist, entrepreneur,
okay.
business owner?
I have known Lee for
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. Yes, I've done her makeup, and you know, we just by having mutual friends and things like that. So I wanted to bring her on because you are, I would say, you know, a woman that children that are in our generation or like kids growing up can look up to. You're very humble. First of all, number one, to be on the status that you are, you're very humble, and I love that because, you know, I love people that are humble, that are warming. Also, you're just out here grinding and you're getting it. So I wanted to basically do like a little sit down with you just to kind of open up, because my whole thing with this is I want people to see what us women have to go through.
Yes.
And I feel like we may not speak on it much about what we've been through, and so if you're open today to just open up a little bit, you know, you can.
Yeah, I'm here. You have
yes.
me.
Okay,
Let's
great.
Get into it.
All right. The first thing I just want to ask you is, how did you come about with rapping? Like, where did this rap career come from? When did you know, like, I'm be a rapper?
Okay, so I actually never think that I would be doing music or
really?
anything that involves a spotlight.
Okay.
I was always like real laid back, kind of shy. I was always outspoken but shy in the same breath. So
gotcha.
I went to school for psychology for a year.
Wow.
I hated it.
You did?
I hated it. It was driving me crazy trying to figure out why people are crazy.
Really? Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
The college experience was probably the best year I've had in my life. Because I only went for a year before I dropped out.
Okay.
Okay, so rewind. When I was younger, this one we was like catching the bus and the trolley to go see boys in this neighborhood and do this.
Yes.
I always used to freestyle with my cousins and my girlfriends. Like, I could just rap about whatever was going on around us, just for fun. And they used to be like, "Yo, you should rap," and I'm like, "No, never. I could never be a rapper." And I just like suppressed it. I put it to the back of my mind, and then. So fast forward to me dropping out of school, I was actually out like somewhere I had no business being. I was still young and underage, but we were like turned up. Yeah. And my cousin was like, "Yo, rap! Like rap! It's all these people out here rap." And I just started rapping, and somebody recorded it. No, probably because I was like on, but somebody recorded it and put it on Facebook, and it got like a lot of views. And I'm like dead broke, like I just dropped out of school. Yeah. And some guy called me and he like, "Yo, I seen your rap. I got 500 for you to come to the studio and do this feature." So I'm like, studio, but I'm thinking about the money. I'm like, I don't got money. So I'm like, look, we're going to the studio. I told my girlfriend, we're going to the studio. I'm going to do this song with this guy.
I know that's right.
And I did it, and it was like when I got into the studio, it was so easy, and it was like a relief. Like I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. So I'm like, I think I kind of like it here.
Yes.
And I don't know, like in the midst of that, I kind of started to take it serious, and then it kind of took a fast for me. Like I met DJ Diamond Cuts.
Okay.
And I started getting spins on the radio. I was opening up for like every mainstream artist that would come to Philly. Right. And then I touched bases with Meek. I was signed to Dream Chasers. All of that happened within like
all
a
of this
year.
Happening, and it happened very fast.
Literally like within like a year, all of this took off. So it was like I never imagined it, but I kind of like walked into it. Yeah. And it was kind of like, I feel like that's still part of my purpose now.
Absolutely. I truly believe that, you know, when God has something for you, it just falls.
Yes, literally.
So I think that, you know, that's exactly what happened with you. This is where you're supposed to be, and you're only going to go but further. Yeah. I have watched you, and I see that you have been, not saying that you weren't before, but you've been more open to sharing your journey with God and how you're kind of getting closer to Him. That's why I really also wanted to sit down with you as well, because you know I'm all about that. I love the Lord. I don't have no problem saying that. So I wanted, I wanted people to hear how good He has been to you, because people may feel like, you know, everybody's saying, oh, He's so good and He's so this and He's so that, but I'm going through a struggle. And I'm not seeing that, because they just see the bigger picture in other people. And when you're going through a storm, you're not always going to see the light. So I wanted to bring on women of substance that have been through the storm, but now you shining. You know what I'm saying? So I really just wanted to ask you, what is one thing in your life that has been hard for you to get through, but God has gotten you through it?
So many things. I can't even pinpoint one thing, because God is good, and we'll get to that next one. Like my journey with Christianity and even just like seeking God and having a relationship with God is fairly new, like within the last year or two. But I would say the relationship that I had with my dad and some of the things that we went through, it was like very trying for me almost my whole life. And with me seeking God and going to church and building the relationship that I had with Him, it's helped me to heal and also forgive. So now, you know, me and my dad, we actually had a one-on-one conversation where we told each other how we felt, and it was ways that I even made him feel that I never would have even taken into consideration because of the point I was in. So now that I'm in this different phase and I'm open to it, and I'm hearing God, and I'm trying to forgive, because we ask for forgiveness, but we can't seek forgiveness if we're not open to forgive the things that we've been through. So when I was talking to him, it was things that I did that also hurt him. And I would have never known that, because I was just so like, oh, you did this to me, and we didn't have this relationship. So I would definitely say the relationship with my dad, because it's actually growing now, because God is in the midst of that relationship now.
That is beautiful. That touches me. That touches me on a different level, because you know, I lost my dad when I was 6. So when I hear any type of stories of a beautiful relationship with father and daughter, that's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And I believe that we should cherish that, because everybody doesn't have that. I'm glad that God has done that for you. And you're absolutely right with forgiveness, because I feel like sometimes we are so stuck on what this person has done to me that I can't get past it. Instead of saying, I'm going to treat this person with love, and I'm going to treat this situation with love, and maybe I can kind of get over it.
And you know, another thing, sometimes we think about forgiveness as just forgiving that person or that situation that happened, but all in all, sometimes that forgiveness is for you. It's not even for the sake of that person or what happened. It's more so for you.
It really truly is.
Especially something that still bothers you and hinders you to this day. When you learn to forgive and let it go, that weight, literally, you can feel it lifting off of you.
No, seriously. Because I've had some troubling times of forgiving people, and I'm like, listen, I'm not forgiving them. What if you did it?
And but I get like that sometimes.
Once you really, and it's really true how when God is involved, you really change all those feelings.
And you feel it.
And you feel it. You feel it. You do. That's awesome. I want to kind of get into your thoughts and how you feel about society. Okay. I know that in our generation and just how we're coming up now, social media is a huge factor. Like, so many people are on there and they're basically sharing their lives. Now, you know, on my page, I kind of have transitioned from just posting makeup and just posting about me, but I have also joined on sharing God. We are back and rolling. All right. Yes, I was saying that I have transitioned my page from just posting makeup and about me, and now I am sharing, you know, God's word and basically anything that He kind of places on my heart to share. So how do you feel about social media and the importance it is in like this generation? Do you feel as though it's a good thing that we are so much sharing so much of us, or is it kind of like a hinder?
I think it's a little bit and a lot of bit of both. Social media has opened up a lot of doors. It's a lot of ways to communicate, network, make money, promote, market, all of those things. But it has shot our communication with one another, like especially with the generation right underneath our generation.
Yes,
they literally, like when I have my nieces and my nephews or my godchildren, it's like when they're in the car, even if you tell them to get out their phone, they don't even know how to hold conversations anymore. it's like with us, like we're just now getting into social media the last few years. So our childhood was like, we didn't have none of this. So we had to go knock on each other's door. Hey, Miss such and such, should they come outside? You know, so it's like now it's like these kids, all they know is social media and technology and your cell phones. So it's like, I feel like it hinders our personal connection with one another. That's what relationships. I see a lot of people like, oh, every time I'm with him or I'm with her, all he do is be in his phone or she be in her phone.
It's true.
Same thing with friendships. It's like when me and my girlfriends go out now, we'll literally be like, all right, everybody put their phones in the middle. First person to pick their phone up, pick their phone up, pay the whole bill, unless it's an emergency. So just so we can get that connection with each other, because it's so lost now.
It is. It truly is. Yeah.
But then it also puts on like a mask for some people. Like, you don't know what's genuine and what's not anymore, because everybody is trying to be something that they're not, or they're trying to stay up to par with everything else that's going on with social media. So it's like, if you look at social media, it's a few of us that are like, look, I had a badass day today. I had a badass day today, like the world. Right. But then you got the other 90% of everybody that's like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm rich, my relationship is this. I don't got no problems, like, you know, and that's masking what's really, masking your reality.
And I asked that, and I'm glad you actually spoke on that, because I feel like we do, you know, as a community, not everyone, but they mask things. And I like to kind of be open, because I've heard before, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't put certain things or like say certain things about God, because you don't know whose religion is who or who feels this like way.
But it's like, who cares? But it's your page.
And I'm not going to hide my God from anybody.
I've had people say that to me with regards to what I do. I've even had some people that I work with like, yeah, you know, maybe you shouldn't post so much when you go to church and mix it in with what you do. And it's like,
example,
you need to go to church, because if you feel like that I gotta stop posting what I'm posting from my deliverance and my revival on my days, or when I feel like I want to post God's word or whatever, then maybe you need to.
And it helps other people. Like, I feel like we don't understand that we are reflections. So at the end of the day, people are watching us. I'm quite sure you have a whole bunch of people that watch you, and you don't even know how many people really truly do watch you. And there's a lot of people who are influenced by you. So I think that it's amazing that you do include, you know, your work, and also sharing the fact that I love God and this is what my new journey is.
Because like we said, social media is also a place for testimonies. Like, I see a lot of women, especially black entrepreneurs, who give their story, and their story is their testimony. So when you're reading these long captions, sometimes it makes sense to read them, because that person may have went through something that you're currently going through, or that you're battling with, and it's like, that's a part of your deliverance. Like, okay, she made it through, then I know I can get through. So it's like, you never know anything that you post. It doesn't even have to be about religion. Any inspirational words is it is always hitting, even if it's just one person. You're helping somebody out. For sure. So it's like, why would I stop giving the word of God, especially if it's helping me and it's healing me? Like, I'm more at peace. I have patience. I got like, I am a ticking time bomb, but I've been so calm, and I have this peace over my life lately that it's like, I want to share that with people, because I want people to have that same kind of peace. And I would have never gotten it had I not seek God.
I'm gonna get a tad bit in your business, just a little bit. So, are you single?
Yes.
Okay, so you are single. Why? Okay, let me ask you, what was your last relationship? Like, how long ago was that?
My last relationship was so messy, and if we're going to get into it, we're going to get into it. first and foremost, and I'm going to be completely honest because again, this is helping somebody because I have dated men and women.
We're supposed to be raw here.
So my last relationship was 2 relationships at one time, and I was the cheater. I'm going to admit it. It was actually with 2 females. So, and prior to that was with my ex-boyfriend. So it was like, it was a messy situation, and I was the cause of the mess. So that was like part of me pushing, that was part of my push towards, you know, like getting myself together, especially with God.
Yes. See, and this is why I want to get in your business, because you get to learn stuff about people. This is important because somebody right now is literally in that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And they need to
get out.
Hear something.
They need to get out.
Basically, how has that kind of like, what did you learn from that? Like, what was it where it was really like, okay, this is the stopping point. Like, I gotta get this, all this gotta stop. I can't do it no more.
Yes, because it's like, one, okay, so me dating guys, and I'm gonna be transparent again.
Yes.
I've all of my relationships have been, and I haven't had a lot, so maybe like 3. They have all been messy. Now they all haven't been. I haven't been the cause of all the mess, but just how I grew up, I kind of didn't grow up knowing the quality or how real relationships are. It was kind of like, you know, like my mom was a single mom, and I always seen how she carried herself was like, me and my kids come first. So whoever she was dating at the time, it's like, if you ain't got your stuff together, you gotta go. So I seen her like be a very strong, independent woman, and she didn't take no shit from no men at all, period. So it was like, that stuck with me. And then on top of that, I got a lot of brothers, and I grew up around a lot of males, so I seen how they treated females, and I seen how some females may have did stuff to them. So I always looked at relationships like, oh, and then some of the stuff that my mom kind of told me when I was younger, like, listen, if you don't get caught, if they don't catch you red-handed, don't. And it was just like, it kind of put me up in a way, because I always looked at relationships like, especially with men, like in my younger years of dating, it was like, oh, well, if he cheat, I'm gonna just cheat back, instead of just leaving and or handling the situation. It was like, I didn't get nothing out of cheating back, and I learned from that. And then it was like, none of my past relationships were healthy, because 1, okay, God wasn't in it, but 2, I didn't know no better, and 3, it was like I was just doing whatever. I felt like, oh, let me cheat on him because my last 2 relationships, he cheated on me, so let me cheat on him first, so I don't, you know. And it's like, you don't get nowhere like that. So then that kind of pushed me towards women. And then when I was dating females, I was just at that time like a savage, and it was just like, for me to tear 2 women down, it actually like really messed with me a whole lot. So now it's like, I'm completely done with all of that type of stuff. I would rather just date until I know I'm ready, because I know now, like, my next relationship, I want it to be healthy. I want it to be, you know, like, faithful. I want to be faithful. I want my partner to be faithful, you know. So. And
you deserve that, though. You know, you deserve to be in a healthy relationship, a relationship that makes you happy, where you're both happy. But, you know, I feel as though we do take a lot from what we've seen, what we've been through, the things that we've experienced, and it really makes up of what we kind of become. And if we don't get that in order, we can literally just fall out and lose everything.
And we can cause a lot of destruction. I feel like I caused a lot of destruction with dating, because 1, I didn't truly know nor love myself properly before.
That's key.
And you can't really give a lot in a relationship if you don't know and love yourself first, because then you know how you treat people, how you want to be treated, or how you're treating yourself. And that wasn't the thing for me. Like, prior to the me now, I was just dating. It was like, oh, I didn't want to be alone, so if he stopped messing with me, then I would go mess with this person. And if she stopped messing with me, then I would go mess with. And it was like, that wasn't doing nothing but hurting more people, hurting myself and hurting people later on down the line.
Wow. Learn so much about people. That's awesome, though. I'm glad that you are here now where you are. You've learned, and you know, because sometimes it takes people a while. To really like.
It took me a while.
Grasp.
Like I'm here now, but this has been my whole past dating life, from like my first little puppy love, 14, 15, all the way till now.
So. And do you feel as though, because for myself personally, I have experienced a lot of I feel like I have placed a lot of like harbor on just myself and my relationship a few times with how I viewed things from what I've experienced from just my mother's relationships with men, just, you know, down to my grandparents' relationships. So do you feel like that has been an effect on how you have went about your relationships, or do you feel like this was more so me and I needed to kind of get myself together and find my self-love?
I think it was a mixture of heavily of both, because like you said, I looked at my mom and her relationships, my grandparents and their relationships, and even down to, like I said, the things that I went through with my dad. I felt like I never saw how a man was supposed to treat me, especially young. Like I didn't never get flowers, or nobody was opening the door for me or telling me like, you know, this is how a guy is supposed to treat you, this is how a man is supposed to treat you. I never had that. So when you go out and you just venture out on your own, you don't know nothing. So it's just like the first thing a guy do for you nice, you think, oh, okay. And in all reality, he just really wants, he's trying to get in your business, but you don't know that because, you know, you wasn't taught that. So I feel like it was kind of a mixture of everything. But again, once you learn to love yourself first, you'll break all of those cycles that happened to your mom, that happened to your grandma, that happened to your dad, that didn't happen there. Like, because now you got the clarity to see, like, okay, you know, like I wish the best for everybody else, but I see the things I don't want to do that my mom may have done or she didn't do, or I see the things that I want to do differently. I love the way this person is, like my dad or my mom, but I don't want my relationship to be like that. You know, you get to learn from it and grow from it. So
that's I always say, you know, as you grow, you have to pray through to grow. Like you have to continuously pray, because God will get you through, but you have to have the patience, you have to have the clarity, and
because God will get you through on his time, not his time. His time,
it's on his time, it's not your time. And sometimes that's hard. Like to really accept that is like really hard.
But once you get through the storm, no matter how long it take, like when you look back, you be like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
Because I look back on some things, I'm like, oh wow,
it makes sense now. Like it makes no sense at all. No, through it. It's like you even get frustrated sometimes with God. And I tell people, you know, like my prayer life is everything. Like I have a prayer room, everything. I pray daily, I pray in the morning, I pray at night, I pray before I'm walking in the studio, shows, all of that. And that's my connection with God. And sometimes we're human, so we still get upset and we still make questions sometimes, like, okay, well, you know, I've been obedient, I've been doing this, like what is going on? Why am I still going through this? But like I said, everything is on his time, and so when you get through that storm, you look back and you be like, oh, okay, so that's why you was making me go through that for this amount of time, because you had this way for you, or you know I wasn't supposed to be doing this at this time. So.
And sometimes he does test our faith. He'll test you, like, well, do you really have that much? Okay, let you keep going through this a little more and then see how far your faith will go. 2 more questions. My first question is, have you ever went through anything like depression, anxiety? Because, you know, in our community, I don't, you know, want to be like a racial thing, but just as African Americans,
go ahead, say
we go through depression and we have anxiety and we have like mental conditions and things like that. So I wanted to ask you, have you ever been through any of those things, and how do you just feel about it in general? I feel like we don't talk about it enough.
So definitely, I would say about 2 years ago, this one I was kind of just getting out of that 2-person triangular relationship. I didn't know God. I always knew I believed, but I never grew up religious. I follow Islam for some time. My dad's side is Muslim, my mom's side is Christian, but my mom was never really into church. She's actually into church now. We go to the same church, thank God. But so this is our walk together. But prior to that, I didn't grow up like in a church. I didn't grow up practicing Islam. It was kind of, I would just like lingering. Like I would go to the masjid sometimes with my dad's side, and then sometimes I would go to church with my aunts and stuff like that. But I didn't seek God until literally like 2 years ago. So prior to that, my life was just a mess. I had like, my career was kind of like going downhill. I felt like everybody that was with me, You know how I go, like, when the lights is on, everybody's around, they hugs, they kisses, and then when the lights start to dim, everybody giggles.
Absolutely.
And I was going through that on top of going through the 2 breakups. Money was low, just a mixture of everything. Like, I was watching my mom go through a lot, so that was like bothering me. My family was all over the place. So it was like a whole lot, and I felt myself being depressed. Like, I didn't care how I looked, I didn't care how I was dressed, I didn't care what was going on. I was turning down shows, like all types of stuff, because I couldn't get back into myself. And I'm like trying different things. I was drinking, and it was just like nothing was working. I'm like, until literally one day I like cried myself to sleep. You know how you be having a bad day, you be like, you know what, I'm going to sleep, and when I wake up, this shit gonna be
better be cool.
But when I woke up, it was still there. So I'm like, you know what, okay, like, we gotta fix this. What can we do? So a friend of mine, December, she had been inviting me to church for some time, and I just kept saying like, oh, I'm going next Sunday, maybe next Sunday. And she was like, no, you know, like, just come. If you don't like it, you know, like, then just don't come back. And I'm like, well, I need something, like, you know, God, something, like, I literally was like, God, listen, like, I'm gonna go to church, you need to show me something,
show up.
lost. And I went to church, and the pastor who is my pastor now, he like had a word for me, and he like got me all the way together. Like, he's very prophetic, and he knew everything, to the point I had to like look at her like, would you tell me?
Like, would you say?
And she was like, no, like, I really didn't. And I, you know, I had never experienced anything like that, because, like I said, I never really been involved in church or saw something prophetic, like had a prophetic word over my life. So when he was saying all this stuff, he's like, yeah, but you know, God is telling you to turn to him. He has some things in store for you. And he knew everything down to like my depression, my relationship, everything. And I'm like, whoa, hold up.
It's getting a little scary, sir.
Yeah, so when I left, I'm like, I'm not going back there. Like, I don't know what he was doing. Like, and then, but I went and I prayed that night. I prayed, and that was like my first time praying literally in a long time. Like, I might have did like a quick prayer, but I literally was talking to God, and I felt like a weight lifted off of my shoulders, and I just continued to go to church. I never fasted before. I started fasting. Everything. I got my mom to come to church, so now my mom is like a mother of our church, and my pastor is like amazing. Our church family is amazing, and that kind of was like the turn for me. So I think I went off topic, because what was your question?
No, you didn't go off topic. You were I was asking, you know, how do you feel about just depression and anxiety and things that we as, you know, blacks, let's just be real, that we go through, because people don't really talk about it much.
And you know what it is? And a lot of us grew up like, kind of like, it was like tough love. Like, we've been through so much since we were kids in the African American community, especially in some of the neighborhoods that we grew up in. And it was kind of like, you gotta be so strong, you gotta fight, and you gonna make it through. Stand up, do it again, wipe that off and do it over. It's like that's embezzled in us. So it's like, when we go through stuff, sometimes we just shelter it. We don't talk to nobody about it, because that's kind of how we were brought up, to like just get over it, get through it.
There's no like, oh, it's gonna be, you know, like real talks where it's gonna be okay.
And it's like, it is imperative to have somebody to talk to. You need at least one solid person outside of your spiritual life, because God should be the first person.
Absolutely.
Period. But even, and you know, like here in a physical form, you need somebody to talk to, whether that's a therapist or your best friend, your mom, your boyfriend, your husband, your lover, your siblings,
like your pastor.
Yes, because when you shelter all that in, and that was always my problem. Like, I always had problems opening up. I still do to this day, and that's something that I'm like praying through. But I was always the friend that all my friends came to for advice, to vent, to confide in. So it was like, the only other person that I would talk to and feel comfortable talking to was my mom. And then my mom went through a phase where the tape was kind of turned. Like, she was going through so much that she was coming to me. So it was like, well, why would I go to her and stress her out more when she's always already going through so much? So I literally was holding everything in. Everything in, to the point it almost like drove me crazy. So it is imperative that we, you know, like, and it is, and another thing is like, we have a wall up. I know y'all can hear my allergies, but we have a wall up, this trust wall. blacks in general, but especially a black woman.
Talk about
This wall is like the wall of China. So it's like, it is so much. It's not even just trust. It's like we got trust issues, communication issues, love issues, self-love, confidence, all this stuff built on top of each other. So it's like this wall that we don't even know how to break down. And it affects us so much because it's just a buildup of so many different emotions. So we not talking to people. We don't have nobody to confide in. We got our own insecurities, and it makes us angry, and it turns to depression.
Yeah, that's very true. I just, wanted to know because I've dealt with it too, and I see that
real.
a lot.
It is real.
Yes, and when I talk to people, at first, because I honestly didn't know what anxiety was before I was diagnosed with it years ago. So when they diagnosed me, I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm not mental, I'm not crazy, ain't nothing wrong with me. But they're like, people your age are going through this. They may not talk to you about it, but they're going through the same thing. And so as I kind of gotten older and I kind of opened up about it, so many people were saying that, I went through that too. Well, that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't really think of nothing like that. We just be like, oh, whatever. I'm just sad. Like, no, this stuff is real. And it really can drive you to so low where you don't even care about nothing.
And another part of that is sometimes we feel like we're on the clock. Like, I see a lot of people get depressed because they think, oh, I'm this age and I still live with my mom, or I'm not married yet, I don't have a career, I'm just working, I don't like my job, and we beat ourselves up about it. Or we look at the next person like, oh, well, she got this type of car, she's married already, and she's younger than me, and that can really take a toll on your life because you're basing your life and your timeline on another person's or another group of people or social media. Whereas like if you race on your own clock and you set your own goals, like, okay, well, I'm still living with my mom, and I might not be 100% happy with that, but I know in 6 months I'm going to have my own place, I'm going to do this differently, I want to start dating differently. When you set those own goals for yourself and you accomplish them, then you feel like whatever this person over here is doing doesn't even matter because you're so focused on you that you're knocking out all these goals.
All your goals.
Exactly.
If you just stay focused, people can get so much done if they just like
focus on them.
Zone out for a second. It's okay. You don't have to compare yourself to Instagram because honestly, Instagram's a lie.
And that's what I said.
Instagram is a whole massive lie, and people are really finessing.
And people really think like everything that's going on Instagram is just real life. Everything is so real. All these people just got all this money and everybody is just stress free and they so happy in their relationship and they never have a bad day. They never have days where their money might be tied up. So everybody is thinking, oh, I gotta be like this. I gotta always be happy. I gotta always have money. I gotta always be on point. I gotta always look this good. I gotta look this good without makeup. Everybody, like it's so much that we make ourselves feel like we gotta keep up with. And that's a full-time job trying to keep up with.
Girl, I don't know how. Listen, I don't know how you do it because I barely have time to do all this stuff that I got in my life, being a mom and entrepreneur and trying to do all this stuff. So it's tough, but I'm very happy that you came and sat down with me. It was amazing talking with you because I learned some new things. And that was the goal here. The goal was just to open up and just to share, your thoughts and how you feel. Because I know a lot of people may watch you and they may not know certain things or they want to learn a little more about you. So that was the whole key to this. So I just want to know, where are you going from here? Like, where is Lee now? Where is she going? What is her goals? What is the next thing that we can see?
I have so much planned. So, of course, I'm still doing my music thing. I'm dropping some new music. I just dropped 3 new records actually. I'm dropping some new visuals, and I'm working on my album. So I'm looking to drop that in May, no later than June. I'm opening my print shop back up. Well, it's still running now, but I'm switching locations. So that was my first business that I did outside of
print shop.
So we do websites, logos, we print apparel, t-shirts, duffel bags, jerseys, everything, business cards, flyers, all of the above. So switching locations to a better location within the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited about that. I got the fitness thing going on. I had a little setback with that because I've been having like major problems with my asthma.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to get back in the loop with that, but
we'll pray about that.
Yes. So, but I'm having the fit classes. I do personal training and stuff like that. The clothing lines, and this is the first time that I'm actually saying this, but I am working on my first book. So I'm very excited about that. It's like I already got the name. It's called Figuring Me Out.
Yes.
So it's like my tell-all book. It's like
I'm so happy
it's
for
gonna
you.
be my baby. So I'm excited. I'm actually writing that like as we speak, and I'm like taking my time with it because I wanted to just be so organic.
Yes.
So like
absolutely.
you know, like as the days go on. So I'm looking to drop that towards the end of the year. Definitely by the top of next year.
You better go ahead, Lee. I'm very, very proud of you. As I was telling you guys, I've known Lee for maybe going on like 4.5 years or so, and this girl is doing it. You're being who you are. You're staying true to you, and I'm just glad that you haven't lost yourself. You haven't gotten sidetracked.
I almost did.
You almost, but you found you came back and you got it together, and that's what it's all about. And God is in your life.
Yes.
And He's bringing you through amazing things. He's going to really open up them doors.
Yes.
Everything that you have said is already done.
Yep.
It's already been done.
Amen.
So, yes. So, thanks guys for watching. Where can they find you on Instagram?
Everything is at Lee Mazin, LeeMazin. It's no G. LeeMazin.com. Lee Mazin on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the music platforms. Just type in Lee Mazin and everything pop up.
Okay. Well, I thank you guys again. Until next time. Bye, guys.